I was an international student myself. So I was always yearning to be integrated into local American families. I became a member of Moody, and they have these international student organizations, and then right away I was drawn more on the other side. I wanted to serve the international students because I know how lonely they are. They're far away from home, and they're really hungry for a sense of belonging.
Most of the students will go their whole time here without stepping foot inside an American house. You know, it seems like it's the smallest thing you can do to invite someone in your house who's here to experience American culture and get an American education.
They're walking around and there's so few people who look like them here. That isn't something we can necessarily remedy, and that's where it's amazing when you do bring the students together and having that opportunity for them to connect. I was paired with a student from South Korea. She was so sweet. I went to a couple of events with her, and then we had some students over during Thanksgiving break. And there was a student from China, and she actually wanted to teach us how to make dumplings. And then there was a student from Ghana who taught us how to make plantains. And so we did like international Thanksgiving, and so many students were like, oh, this feels like home to me. Like, I've missed this so much. And that's something that when they're just interacting with their peers in classes, they don't get that same sense. And so we opened our home to have her over and these other students over to share our food with them, but then they wanted to come back and share theirs with us. And so it wasn't just about us giving, we also were receiving.
There was always a picnic where you got to meet the students you're partnering with. So we'd meet them there and we'd like play and eat and talk and whatnot. And then we'd have them over to our house for the first time and we did something fun. So it was either board games, or if it was around the holidays, we always made like sugar cookies and just like activities that weren't so much like hosting as like, we're gonna do this fun thing, come and do it with us.
My wife and I decided to welcome someone from Tanzania because I lived in that country as a refugee. We remember when we came here for the first time, the first thing that you miss is home food. It's not easy to find it in the public market, but for us, because we know where are some corner stores where we can go and buy them, we invited him and we shared food at home. When they are here, yes, they are in the US, but they are like in a box. They are at school, they don't have connection with the world, they don't know what is going on. That time that we give to them, it's the moment that they see love, care, unity, and they have a chance to taste different food and meet other people.
You don't have to be the sole facilitator of all conversation. Like, the students will talk to each other. You think like, oh, it's someone from a different country, different culture, all these things, I don't want to offend people. Oftentimes the students who choose to sign up for these events are very curious individuals, and a lot of them are graduate students. They're either doctoral or master's students, and they are incredibly brilliant people. They're very interesting to talk to. They're really passionate about some field, whatever they're studying.
That's what I like to do. I like to pick their brain about what they're learning about, and it's an easy conversation to have.
In order to tap into their world, I want them to open up, so I have them talk about their families and talk about their country, their cultures, and I try to show interest in them because, it is true that they don't care what you know until they know you care. We really try not to be too religious.
A lot of them also come from like families and countries whose religious backgrounds are really like hostile to Christians. So right away we want to first show them the love of Christ.
They may ask themselves why this person is caring about me. If you do something for someone, he will be curious to see what is the belief. So serving a meal can be one of the way of evangelism, especially for those who don't believe.
We don't just sit down with people and beat them over the head with the gospel by any means. I don't think that's the primary means through which God draws people to Him. It's through developing those relationships.
It's just such a privilege to be able to watch this person go from this shy, terrified student who doesn't know anyone to somebody who's able to come over and be like, I talked to this person, or this happened to me at school today, or just this is my success from today. And it's just such a rewarding experience to watch someone blossom like that.
For us, we were blessed because we serve someone who appreciates what we do, regardless of the religion. He's a Muslim, And we talked about that. We said, we invite you as friends and neighbors in our country. From that time until now, we keep on texting, calling, and he's very excited to see someone at least who can share the culture and who speaks the language that he speaks.
They walk through their days and there isn't one thing that is just familiar and normal to them. It can be exhausting and isolating, and so if we can come alongside them and make ourselves familiar to them, we can say, we want to engage with you, we want to learn about you, we want to share our lives with you. In those conversations, as we get to know each other, because Jesus is central to who we are, at some point often God gives us His grace and invites that student to ask us more questions about who we are, and we're able to share our story and how God is part of our story.